OHL top 10. So, Z, is this a year where OHL is strong, medium, other in this draft class? I know the WHL has kind of dominated in recent years.
It's a very, very strong class, especially right at the top. I mean, you might have 5 guys go top 10, 5 or 6 potentially. So it's a very strong class. So we can start. We can fly through them, honestly. The first three shouldn't surprise anyone, anyways. So
Matthew Schaefer, left-handed D, congratulated Connor McDavid on being good at hockey when he saw him famously at his jersey retirement ceremony in Erie. Go.
Yeah. I mean, the player that probably has potentially the highest ceiling in this draft class, obviously, very take him first overall. Barely eligible this draft, super young. One of the players that it really sucked not watching him play a ton of hockey this year, but even in the games that he did play, he just was showing a different level of offense we've ever seen from him before. Coming into the year was how smart he was, how solid of a skater, and the decision making, how good he is in transition. That was all kind of the calling card for him. But I mean, even when he was healthy at the beginning of the year, after missing the start with mono, comes in and it's just putting up highlight reel plays, in transition, overtime assists, overtime game winners, just lighting up the score sheet. So I mean, he's 6'2", 185, 190. He's going to get bigger and stronger still. There's a ton of runway. Again, I don't know if at the NHL level he's necessarily going to pop off offensively. I don't know if the offense is legitimately dynamic, but he has it in his bag. And again, when you pair that with the fact that he is incredibly smart, he defends unbelievably well. He's incredible in transition. He skates as well as he does. Potential first pair D-man for years and years and years. So first overall, Matthew Schaefer also wears number 48 because I think his favorite player is Danny Briere, which is also fascinating.
Whoa, crazy. Can I push back here a little bit?
Sure.
What is this 1 to 4 draft here?
I don't know. I think
1 to 2.
I'll be honest. I thought I put 2, 1 to 2.
Well, we'll see then whether that was you or Mateo, but
it was probably me. I probably
1 to 2 has to be it. He is not going past San Jose.
He's not going past the Islanders.
He shouldn't. But if for some reason there's no way he goes past 2. All right, fair enough. Moving on to number 2, Michael Misa. Ever heard of him? Center. I don't know. He apparently will be going to Penn State because his brother is. So people like to say online.
Obviously, that's a decision making. That's how everyone makes their decisions. But 6'1" center, ridiculously good skater, unbelievable in transition, dynamic playmaker. His goal scoring popped off this year. He's got a ridiculous shot. Not afraid to get inside ice. Again, even if he does end up floating out to the wing, he can be a playmaker from the wing. But just the calling card for him is the vision, how he manipulates defense. And again, the skating paired with that transition ability, unbelievably exceptional, detail-oriented too. There's a lot of players that put up big points in junior hockey, but it's maybe a lot of hopeful plays or just being a better skater, more athletic than other guys. He, the details to his game are just rock solid. So super high IQ. Again, the offensive upside. He might be the most NHL ready, to be honest with you, of all these guys. He's just incredible. So obviously went all the way off this year. He's played a lot of OHL hockey already as an exceptional status guy. And those first few years, he was playing more of a role. He was more of a role player in their middle six. And then when they won the Mem Cup, he was third line wing or whatever. This year gets the reins at 1C and at no point slowed down. Finished with over 130 points in 60 games. So he's just an incredible player. So it's really him and Schaefer that I should have put the tiers 1 and 2. But unbelievable player. And we'll see where he ends up. Probably 2.
Probably. Number 3, Porter Martone, who started the year as being in the debate with Hagens for 1 and 2. Shifted to firmly being in the 3-4 range. And now, just depending on how the draft falls, especially with the need for center, people are saying he could fall to 5, 6, 7. Who knows? What do we need to know about this beautiful Porter. Wow, just a great name.
Solid name. Yep, 6'3", 200-pound right winger. For Brampton there. Coming into like the past year or two, it's been like his profile is really just like a sniper, a goal scorer. This year, he's been like one of the best playmakers in the OHL, and like translatable too, where he's just like reading defense, he's manipulating, shooting, and passing lanes. The playmaking really should be the thing that stands out the most from this season. Obviously 98 points this year in 57 games. He's awesome. So like for me, even if like you're hoping for a center, I would not overthink this. I'm still taking Porter Martone like third overall in the draft, honestly. Like again, the playmaking pair with that shot. And I think he's just a super smart player. Big questions for him is the skating going to hold him back? And also at that size, you probably want to be a little bit more physical, but just the offensive upside, the runway that he's got there, like he is for me, a no doubt top 5 pick at least, but I wouldn't even overthink it. I'd probably just go 3. So like in my own head, like the OHL takes 1, 2, and 3 off the board.
Fun. Isha won't recover.
Yeah.
Number 4, Jake O'Brien. Another center. Shocker. Above 6 feet. So Bill Guerin loves him. But this next tier of centers, I know there's been a lot of movement, and I don't know. How do you make sense of it, and why does Jake O'Brien come in at number 4?
I put O'Brien here over the others because I think he just has more of a runway and there's more upside to come still. Like I think the other guys are probably closer to like not obviously their peak, but like we're closer to knowing what their peak might be. Like O'Brien really popped off this year, 98 points in 66 games. He's got the size. I put the tier 8 to 15. I'd probably keep him top 10 to be honest. I like to keep the tiers more open, but thing with him is if he can continue to play with more pace, that's going to take him to another level too. I think he can. Like the skating's good enough, but he's super smooth, super deceptive, super high end vision. Another player with a ton of details in his game, and again physically, I think there's just got so much runway left. So I think there's just a ridiculous high upside with him. I think he's a top 6 center long term. Like kind of gives you shades of like a Dylan Strome almost, minus like probably the foot speed in general, but. I love this player. I think he's, again, dual threat. He can shoot. He's a high-end playmaker. Love the vision. But the big selling point for me is just how much physical runway I still think there is for him. So I think he's not going to be a player that you're going to try to rush into the NHL right away. But if you can give him the patience, I think this is a kid that should be a top 6 center in the NHL.
How many kids do you think could crack NHL lineups next year from this class? Like we're talking ceiling, not floor.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because I think there's going to be a lot of overagers that go early than usual this year, just given this draft. But as far as like this draft class, like first year eligible, there's only probably maybe 3. I don't know. Even that feels probably aggressive. But 3, I think I'd be like maybe. Probably give like a decent chance, like maybe Schaefer, probably Misa, and like maybe Desnoyers as far as like stepping in next year. Like maybe you could potentially wonder about like I think Frondell still needs more time. He's played pro hockey, he's got the frame, but I don't know. But there's not a ton, that's for sure.
Fair, because I think half of them have already said they plan on making the NHL, which I think that's just like posturing, being honest. Yeah. But all right. Number 5, Brady Martin. So tell us why people should be excited about Brady Martin, but then tell me like why he falls just behind Jake O'Brien for you. Because I think that is going to be an interesting discussion leading in.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, to be honest with you, I would honestly be surprised if he goes after O'Brien. Like I know because NHL teams again have given how well, I guess, whatever he interviewed, but like just the style that he plays with.
He's a farm boy, man.
Yeah, literally.
He's
I
Dean
imagine
Youngblood.
we already know like every team already fell in love with him, but I mean, this kid, he's listed at 6 foot. I think he's like 6'0.75" or whatever, like closer to 6'1", whatever. And he's not even like, it's not like he's like 200 pounds. It's not like he's like heavy or whatever, but he plays like he is 6'3", 220. Like he is running guys through the glass. He's a monster on the forecheck, but then with the puck, really manipulative playmaker. Again, he's got a nice shot too. But like he is an absolute menace to play against, just an overwhelming force. Again, like on the forecheck, just running guys. The big thing is just going to be like, I think the skating does need to take a pretty, I mean, it's like okay, but like for him to be a top 6 forward in the NHL, I think that foot speed is going to have to just get better. Because right now he plays very north-south, but I mean, again, he can score goals. He's going to run you through the glass, nonstop motor. He's just an absolute freight train that like started showing off a ton of skill this year and offensive ability and offensive upside. So, I mean, he always like, it's kind of like a Sam Bennett situation where like, yeah, he might be like a 60-point guy, but he's like the first guy you want on your team in the playoffs. So who knows? But I think teams are going to be lining up to take him super early. Again, like we mentioned, like a lot of people have him potentially ending up in Utah at 4, but I mean, who knows? We'll see where he lands. But he is like every fucking GM's like, I want 15 of him in my pool. So he's a scary player. And again, like the offense did take a big step forward this year too.
And I mean, did you hear what he said about his draft attendance this year?
That's what I said earlier. Yeah. He is going to be on the farm at home, working the farm and watching from home.
I just love that, like, teams love that he said that.
Teams are like, oh,
fuck yeah, this guy, he's our guy.
He told us he's not coming. We love it. He's going to be at home. We love that about him.
Yes.
He's awesome. Again, I think there's more runway, more like long-term upside in like an O'Brien. So and again, like the way more details.
Is it kind of a gimmick, like him being the good old farm boy who interviewed well, who seems like the playoff archetype, like a Sam Bennett, and that's why he's going to go as early as he is, and like people are reaching? Because like you've got him here listed as 12 to 20 in the draft here. And I get that makes sense with his skill, but so like, do you agree with those intangibles, or do you think that is like the genesis behind people reaching?
I mean, I think a lot of it has to just do with this class, but also like he is fucking awesome. Again, I probably have a few guys that I think there's just more upside in general.
Yeah.
But as far as like a surefire NHL talent goes, like he's going to be playing. He's a guy that he's going to be in the NHL for sure. And I do think because of the way that he plays, he's probably got a solid enough B game that like even if he doesn't end up in your top 6, he's going to be a really good like middle 6 guy that's going to, again, like especially if the skating takes a few steps forward and he can like hone in on some like defensive aspects of his game, he's going to be a fucking like pain in the ass middle 6 guy that can potentially chip in 20 goals, but like just a two-way menace. So if he goes like 8, I'll be like, yeah, I get it. Like for me, it's a reach, but I get it still.
Okay. Number 6, Kashan Aitchison, which like I've seen this guy projected at 6. I've seen him projected in the second round. Like, what do you make of this guy?
Yeah. So Kashan Aitchison, 6'1" left shot D. He might be like we just talked about Brady Martin and how much of a freight train he is and how violent he plays. Kashan Aitchison might like be the guy that just takes to another level. Like he's probably the heaviest hitter, most menacing player in this class. And again, he's a good skater. He's scored some goals this year. I have him closer to 20-30. He might potentially be the first D that comes off the board after like a Matthew Schaefer. We know how much NHL teams love Kashan Aitchison, just the abrasiveness that he plays with. I think he's smart enough and he's already like defending the rush well enough. And he's a decent in zone defender. My big question is just like, I mean, he scored 26 goals this year in 64 games. I have a lot of questions about like just how much NHL level offense is in there. This is a kid, he's going to be in the NHL. He's probably going to be a really solid 4. Like he's just going to be. Just the way that he plays, and again, the abrasiveness of which he plays with. And just given the fact that he's his size, that skates well enough, he's going to be another guy that like NHL teams are going to be falling over themselves trying to get. Like, I wouldn't even be shocked if he ends up at like 9, 10, 11. And again, another kid that
So 11
after the combine, every fucking team is all about. It's all about him. So he's going to be like a future fan favorite too, wherever he lands, just the way that he plays. Like he's going to stand out just because he's going to be running around like a lunatic. But he showed some projectable offense. I just don't think it's going to be like super high end or anything. But I don't think it'll have to be just the way that he plays. He can be a really solid defensive shutdown guy. So I get why teams like him. Just there's probably other guys that I probably have with like more upside as far as like the offensive and like the two-way ability goes.
So high floor, low ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, he could fucking the one thing he can do, he can hound a puck. Like his one-timer is insane, but like I just don't know how often he's really going to get the opportunity to like get that shot off, anyways. But we'll see.
Nice.
This is Cameron Reed for Kitchener Rangers, another left shot D-man. So if I could do it again, I'd probably flip these two. Especially just actually it was literally yesterday, just watching a bunch of his tape from this year. Super smooth, super detail-oriented two-way left shot D-man. And again, thank God the combine, he didn't come in at 5'11", just remained at 6 foot, which legitimately makes a comical difference. Like it is very funny how much of a difference the 6'0" makes. But he's super fleet of foot, really, really good transition, both offensively and defensively. Drives play from the back end in the OHL. He flashes some super high-end offense at times. He's probably going to have to do it more consistently to be like a top 4 guy that's going to give you a lot of points in the NHL, but I think he's super smart. Again, just a dynamic skater, moves really well. He's so good in transition. The fact that he can be a play killer defensively off the rush, like I am really high on him. I think a lot of teams did also come away from the combine really, really impressed with him. So before I would have assumed that like maybe teams would be comfortable taking him more like the 25 range. I wouldn't be surprised just given how well he performed at the combine, how good he's been down the stretch for Kitchener. I could see him going potentially like even like 16 or 17. But again, if I could do it again, I'd probably flip these two. I think I put them in the same tier anyways, though, him and Aitchison.
Yeah.
But he's definitely going to be one to watch, but potentially like jumping up a few spots, just given how strong he finished season in the combine and everything. So I'm a big Cameron Reed fan. He's awesome.
There you have it. Number 8, Malcolm Spence, left wing, who OHL boy already committed to Michigan, which means that I'm required to not like him. Why should I like him?
Yeah, so going to Michigan, another one of those guys. He's just like another guy that's going to be an NHL player, and he's going to be a good one. If for no other reason, he's just fucking. He's the guy. Like he's got that dog in him. Like he is a big, menacing winger, super physical, very disruptive, but he's super smart with the puck. High end details. Love his habits with the puck too. Like again, the thing that kind of separates him from a lot of other guys is just the fact that he does play so physical and he's such a pest on the ice. But it's not the one like big part of the game or whatever. Like he does have enough. Like I think he is such a smart player with the puck too. And again, he can play both ends. He's super like versatile. You can play him up and down the lineup. Like he's going to be able to fill a variety of roles in the NHL. It's just maybe the offense isn't like super dynamic, but like this is a guy just given his style. I actually love the fact he's going to play college hockey. I think it makes a ton of sense for him. I don't think it's going to take him a whole lot of time to find a spot to fit in the NHL. Like again, I don't know. Like he shows flashes of him like potentially top 6 upside, even if he's not going to be like driving the play. But I think you just have a really solid, super physical, disruptive middle 6 winger that can kill penalties, that can be on your second power play unit, that's going to chip in goals, but be a factor all over the ice.
There you have it. Number 9, Nope. Isha, please pronounce this for me.
Yeah, I think Henry Brustowitz. That's as close as I can come. 6'1", right shot D-man for London Knights. Another guy you could probably potentially even see going late first. Super toolsy, really good skater. Is always looking to push the pace with the puck. Every time he touches the puck, he wants to make plays. Probably needs to like hone in some of the details. Like he is just like taking the puck and flying up the ice and just trying whatever he wants. But like he is such a good skater. He does have so many tools in his bag. It's like when you're a junior hockey player, it's better to be able to at least know that he's like experimenting with the tools that he does have. He's a decent defender off the rush. Probably doesn't have like the one standout trait outside of just like he moves well and he's just got a ton of tools in his bag. And I just love the fact that he wants to make a play pretty much every time he touches the puck. And when he's on the ice, he wants the puck like he's getting it, giving it up and wanting it right back, constantly in motion. Very fun player. So he's got decent size. Again, he's physical too. So I like him.
Do we like reverse the Rick Dvorsky thing and just call him like Henry Smith?
Henry Bradshaw.
Henry Brady. Done.
Brady.
Although going from Dalibor to Rick, I feel like we can't stick with like a B. It's got to be like Henry McDonald.
Smith makes more sense probably then.
Oh, okay.
Because since we went Rick, that's Smith.
I mean, right-handed defenseman that's over 6 foot. Give him all the money. Number 10, Luca Romano.
Big fan of Luca Romano.
All Italy team.
Plays center for the Kitchener Rangers. Unfortunately, still clocked in or came in at 5'11", not 6 foot. So teams will use it against him. Fleet of foot, sniper, nonstop motor, but another guy who he's got a ton of tools. But he's got a ton of detail to his game as well. He can kind of give you a little bit of everything. He can shoot. He has a really deceptive shot off the rush too. Like there are plenty of times where he's just flying up the ice in transition and he's pulling the puck in between and shooting between the defender's legs and just sniping top shelf. I think the big question is going to be the physical side of the game, but he is so agile. He just like doesn't get hit. But I mean, I'm 168 at 5'11". That's a small lad. Again, can he play center in the NHL? I think he probably still can.
Jersey too.
But so many tools. He flashes that high-end skill. Probably needs to do it a little bit more to stick as like a potential top 6 guy. Again, strikes me more as a middle 6, do it all center. With a ton of tools, who flies up and down the ice. Again, he's a really good two-way as well. But the big calling card is just the other tools he has in his bag and how good of a skater he is. But another guy that I do think is versatile. Like he could even, again, if he ends up playing wing, speed that he plays with, the skill that he's got, and how good of a shooter he is, like that's not a problem either. Like he's going to be, even if he ends up playing wing in the NHL, like he's going to be a solid player. Ton of fun. Love him.
So who barely missed out with the honorable mentions?
I'm going to pull up my list again.
There's another one that I'm not even going to try and pronounce. Oh, what the heck?
So his name's actually, they just say Simon, which is funny. It's a 6'6" left shot D-man who flies, considering his size. Really good skater. We've seen some he'll probably go early second round, just given how good of a skater he is and the fact that he's 6'6". He had the biggest wingspan at this year's combine. Fun fact. Headed to BU next year. He's a lot of fun. I don't really know how much offense is in there, but he's a solid defender. He moves as well as he does at that size. It's not going to take a whole lot of time for his name to get called on day 2.
Now, Jack Nesbitt mocked in the first round, and you have him going late second, early third. I also got to say, like, now that I have a little kid, I've absolutely gone back and watched a ton of the different like Disney and Pixar movies with him. And whenever I see Nesbitt, it's Miss Nesbitt, the alter ego of Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story, the original.
Oh my god, dude! Every time I see Nesbitt, I do the same exact. God damn it,
Dude. Wyshynski brought it up on MVSW with Merrick on the sheet. Talked about how the Florida Panthers are basically they're Monsters Incorporated because they basically steal people's screams and use them for power. And I messaged him and I'm just like, you absolutely have to make like a blog that talks about each team's Disney/Pixar parallel, or you need to come on and talk about it on the podcast. And all I got was the crying, laughing response. And that's where we left it. I think it'd be a great move.
I'm in. I like that. God, no.
Big spiral. Is it Chata?
Zada. God damn it. I literally had my notes up and now they just
Alexei Medvedev. That sounds like a Canadian.
Oh, this is bro. I mean, like the guy that is probably gonna be flirting with the first round out of this list is that Jack Nesbitt, 6'4" centerman for Windsor. Foot speed might be a problem, but he's physical. He flashes some high end skill for a guy that size. And again, he scored some goals this year. He also flashed a lot of playmaking. So I think he's just a guy that's like his stock has definitely grown as the years gone on. So definitely has a chance to be taken late first. Wouldn't be that big. I mean, I know I listed them farther than I guess probably even meant to. Again, I don't know why I did that, but probably if I could do it again, I probably would have put him in the same tier as Simon Wong. Because now that I think about like late seconds, it's a bit rude. It's a bit aggressive. And then Medvedev is going to be an interesting one. He's probably a lot of people's second goalie off the board. Other ones are like Ivan Kovac, who had not a great year. He's technically 5'11", so like that's another one at the goalie position that's a problem for a lot of scouts. But Alexei Medvedev, probably a lot of people's number 2. I know some people even have him above Ravensburgen, which is interesting. But he's just a solid shot stopper, super mobile in his crease. And then Philip Ekberg, left wing out of Ottawa 67s. He came over from Sweden. He's the kid that made his debut in the Hockey Allsvenskan at 15 or 16, scored 4 goals in his first ever game. Start of the season was pretty rough for him, but he really picked it up as it gone on. Again, bit undersized, 5'10", 160 pounds or so. Took a little bit of adjustment getting used to the physicality in North American smaller ice, but really finished the season strong. He's a super fun player. I like him a lot. I didn't even know until he got drafted in whatever the OHL draft last year, whatever it's called, the God damn it, the European, whatever it is. But I was under the impression that I was like, yeah, they probably just picked him, not thinking he'd actually come over since he already played like pro hockey in Sweden. Why would he? But ended up coming over, and by the end of the year, it's probably looks like it was the right decision. So he's another intriguing one, probably late second, early third, or well, man, probably just early to mid third, to be honest with you.